Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 9
of Unplugged.
In short, it's a mindfuck crime serial killer
Comedy.
story.
It's a comedy.
In this description they say black comedy, but
It is comedic. I found quite a few similarities with a film called The Voices with Ryan Reynolds. When you look at The Voices and when you look at the American Psycho, you do see the resemblance. So it's either Ryan Reynolds probably took inspiration from the American Psycho, but it does have that black comedy aspect, dark comedy aspect, basically. I mean, the performance from Christian Bale was
great,
top notch. They actually initially had DiCaprio as the lead.
Okay.
But because they said...
How were they gonna get him when the budget was $7 million?
Well, back then he wasn't that expensive.
He still did Titanic, didn't he?
He did, but he wasn't paid, $20 million per film then. It's a very, very odd film, because it's difficult to grip whether this is reality or this is just in his head or this is like what's actually happening in the film. But I actually enjoyed watching it.
Personally, I don't know. The first 30 minutes I thought was awful. I honestly was watching it, I'm thinking, like, the choices of music, it's just, like, out of shape, out of place. Like, what is the point of this? But then after that, it kind of develops into him just being a very odd guy. And you just, like, keep seeing him being very odd. He keeps thinking stuff in his mind. He gets very depressed, almost angry that somebody else has a better business card than him,
But that just goes to show that
he's just
how
crazy.
nuts he is.
Yeah.
It's a very, very odd film. So
I want to touch on very quickly on a little thing I noticed in the film when he murdered Paul. He axed him and all that stuff.
It's hip to be square. Yeah.
And what I thought was very out of place was the fact how he got rid of the body. He was dragging the body out, basically in a trash bag or something, and blood was on the floor as well. So there was no way that was real. No way in hell. Because first of all, people would notice a blood trail going, and then the people outside the car notice him, putting something in a bonnet. There's no way that, that was a body, because they'd be like, well, what's in there?
Well, no,
suspicious.
But
he just said a nice bag. That's all he said.
No, he said, is that a Paul Gaultier night bag or something?
He was interested in the bag itself, not like what was so randomly shaped in the bag.
I mean,
does no one else live in that whole building?
I mean, she was knocking on the doors
on plenty of doors and screaming,
and
he's there running naked with a chainsaw. It's a great scene, funny. That was a funny bit.
It was,
It's quite fun to look at.
What do you think they spent the most of their budget on? Because the budget was $7 million. What do you think they mostly spent it on?
The actors?
No. The music. They actually spent the majority of the budget went to acquiring the rights to the music. Whitney Houston refused to allow her music, so her music is never played, but it's mentioned. It was a lot of improvisation. Christian Bale did a lot of improvisation in the scene where he kills Paul Ellen. When they start playing the music Hip to Be Square, where he starts dancing, that's improvised. So that wasn't actually in the original script. And the original, you probably have to cut a lot of this shit out, but the original writer of the book said the only thing that he didn't like about the film was the Christian Bale's dancing bit, because he said it was too... It just didn't work.
The writer
to
of the
him.
film?
No, the writer of the book.
Oh, okay.
The original book. So another interesting point with how they shot the film was the scenes with the detective. So the lead, Christian Bale, with the detective, Willem Dafoe. In these particular scenes, they did 3 takes of each particular shot. So in this, the detective, in take 1, the detective would know that the main character killed Paul Allen. In the second take, the detective was unsure if he did or did not kill him. And in the third take, he would know that he didn't kill him. And then what the editor did is the editor would actually mix up all 3 of these shots to confuse the audience, which you can tell, because in some of the scenes you go, well, the detective surely knows that he killed him, because he's going like, where were you that night, because he's suspecting him, and then bam, the next scene he's like, oh yeah, you were with these guys, and it was like, well, what? But yeah, it was done purposefully to kind of mix it all up.
Clever idea.
Yeah. pretty
Turned
good.
out to be great.
So, for a regular moviegoer,
Regularly.
For a regular moviegoer, it's a fairly entertaining film. It is a bit unique, so it might not be to your taste, but yeah, I'd say go and watch it. And then for a movie buff, put it on your list. It certainly inspired many other sort of films and TV series that have come after it. And it's quite a landslide performance by Christian Bale. So yeah, go and watch it.